it's Al from Home 12 Volt here to show you this awesome Jayco caravan that we've just set up brand with a complete Victron energy system and 900 amp hours of lithium battery power. Let's go and have a look. When Brant came into the store to have a chat about what he wanted to do with his Jayco and what it could actually offer him from the factory, which we had a chat about that. You know, these are pretty good. They come with a J35 system, which in most cases will give you the specs that you need, and he had 240 amp hours of AGM power. But he did say that he wants to go away and be able to use his caravan in the same manner as he would whether it be on a powered site or if he's off grid. And that means he wants to run the air conditioner, the kettle, he wants to run a coffee machine, he wants to run everything without any limits. And what we said is we recommend going for a complete Victron energy system, which will give you the power you need to be able to run the whole van, and lithium power as well. We recommended Duramax lithium batteries, and he's gone with 900 amp hours of battery. Now we're talking a lot of power, but he's got the solar wattage to be able to charge it as well. So we'll get into that a bit later and what we've done for Brant and the complete system. So let's have a look into it. Starting with a huge 900 amp hours of battery capacity, we've gone with Duramax lithium cells. These are a true prismatic cell, and each battery has 150 amp BMS in them. So that means it's got 150 amp continuous discharge rate, and also they've got a 60 amp charge input. So while a lot of brands will only recommend 4 batteries in parallel before you have balancing issues, we've actually done testing on the Duramax, we've spoken to the manufacturer, and we've actually done it ourselves. We managed to balance the system by keeping all of our cables the same length. That way the cables that connect the battery bank to the Multiplus unit will all charge at the same rate as well. So these batteries here, we'll be stocking these from now on, both for battery box systems as well as complete caravan systems. So if you want any information, contact us. They come with a 5-year warranty and a 10 to 12 year lifespan as well. So to charge up the 900 amp hours of Duramax lithium power we've got here, we've fitted Victron 30 amp DC-DC chargers. So there's one just here, and we've put another one under here as well. So these will work in unison together, giving 60 amps charging peak output from the vehicle. So when Brant's traveling, he's also got the solar power on the roof, and he's got 720 watts of solar up there. So we've got a 50 amp MPPT Solar Controller fitted. So that means between this setup with the DC-DC chargers and the 50 amp MPPT, he's potentially charging at 110 amps full output. So while he won't be able to have to do that all the time, if he's actually been camping overnight, he's been running his air conditioner, he's been running his microwave, the next day he'll be pumping that power back in while he travels to his next destination. When Brant came into the store and we were having a chat, he actually mentioned that he had a 120 watt solar panel on here, and that was from factory. So we went with 3 200 watt solar panels, giving him a lot more power. So he's got 720 watts now. So in order to be able to harness that power, we went with a Victron Energy 50 amp MPPT, and he's knocking on 50 amps an hour in full sun if he's got a load, either a load on the battery or if he's drained his batteries down. So with that MPPT Victron controller, he's able to monitor it from Bluetooth from his phone. He can program it, and he can actually see it also on the Cerbo system, which we'll get into later. But with that system, he's also got the ability to run higher voltage, and he's able to harness all the power that those solar panels can give him. Monitoring the battery system, we've gone with one of my favourite Victron products, the Victron Smart Shunt. These are a fantastic product to suit any system, whether you've got a system for going away on weekends or a full-blown Victron power system like this one here. They're going to display battery percentage. You can actually see the amps going in, coming out. You can also monitor time remaining at the current discharge rate and also consumed amp hours. So it made sense to fit that into this system with such high amp hour capacity, and not to mention we're running a Victron Energy Multiplus 3000. So he'll be able to see through the smart shunt on his phone what watts and amps that Multiplus is drawing, whether it be with the aircon running or the microwave or even a coffee machine. But he can actually monitor the whole lot through his phone, not to mention the smart shunt actually plugs into the Cerbo GX, and we'll get into that just next and show you what you can actually do with it, and it just has no limits. During this complete Victron system, we've gone with the Cerbo GX. It's basically a central hub for the actual Victron system. Everything will plug into it, from the MPPT, the smart shunt, and also the Multiplus unit. So the Cerbo GX is a fantastic unit. It has the ability to also run tank sensors as well as all the other Victron products. However, in this system, when we had a J35 system previously in it and the tank sensors weren't compatible, we had to then go for an RV Electronics, which is actually local here in South Australia, and we had to go for this unit here to be able to run the 3 tanks. And it's come out a real beaut. Looks awesome. They've got a fantastic product there, and now Brant can actually monitor all 3 tanks in his van as well. So with the Victron Energy Multiplus, we've got it mounted underneath the fridge here. As you can see, it's mounted on its back. That way it's got good airflow still. So this is a 3000 VA inverter with a built-in 120 amp battery charger. It's got an automatic transfer switch built into it. So when Brant goes on to mains power, he'll switch over to a battery charger in less than 20 milliseconds. He won't even notice it in the van. And then when he goes free camping and unplugs from the mains, or it could be the generator he unplugs from, it'll switch back to an inverter. So the whole van runs on AC 240 volt through the Multiplus system. Good thing with the Victron Energy Multiplus units is they're fully programmable. So this is normally needed with a computer, and you can use a Mark III Victron adapter. This way you can go into the settings and you can set your battery type, your charge rate. You can go into inverter settings as well, but normally it's just a few changes for the battery types. Also, it is an inverter, so like other large inverters, when they're on standby and they're not being used, they will have a power draw. These will draw approximately around about 1 to 2 amps. So if you're not using it, it's just best to just turn it off. Easy way to do that is basically with the Cerbo system and the Touch 50 screen. You can just go to that and switch it off, and we'll show you how in the next part. So with the Touch 50, which is connected into the Cerbo GX, it's got a multitude of different features. As you can see here, we're running off the Multiplus inverter, and we've got the air conditioner running. It's only on low, but it's still drawing out 904 watts. We could crank this up even higher and just would love it. So you can also see the solar is kicking in now. We've got a decent power draw on the batteries. So we're putting in 274 watts, and it's fairly overcast here anyway. So you can also look to the battery capacity. With fully charged batteries at 100%, we've got a fair few hours to go before the batteries would actually be flat. And we're currently drawing out 56 amps from the aircon running as well. So when Brant's plugged into mains power, he'll notice that the red square, that'll be the AC input for charging. He'll be able to see what watts are pumping into the batteries when he's plugged into mains, and the AC load, that'll really decrease because it won't have any load through the inverter, because it will switch over into a battery charger mode. So some other great features with this system is we can actually go in, so we can actually turn off the inverter from the Multiplus through the Touch 50. So we can just go switch, and then as you can see, we can go off, turn it on to charger only, or even just run it on inverter. So another great little feature we can also do here is when Brant's running off the generator, he can actually modify the input current limit. so he can actually bring it right down to about 4.5 AC amps. That way it won't overload the generator, and it will comfortably just run that battery charger if it's got really overcast weather and he's relying on his generator. And then it's easily put back to the original 16 amp settings when he's on mains power. So these are absolutely awesome unit. You can also run water tank sensors on this as well, plus a whole other range of different features. So to cap it off, guys, that's Brant's full Victron energy system. We've absolutely loved putting this together for him, and I'm sure he's going to love using it when he goes up north in about 3 to 4 weeks. So we're really looking forward to Brant sending us some photos and videos and show us how it all went, because he can't wait to get up there, use this off-grid, using his air conditioner, all the lights, microwave, everything. So whether he can get into a powered site or not, he doesn't have any limits at all. So if you want a custom setup like this through us guys at Home of 12 Volt Northern, contact us on 08 8262 6890, or you can email us at paraka@homeof12volt.com.au. See you in the next video, guys.